It's beginning to look a lot like COVID. Wear your stupid mask. It's the holiday. It's the commercial advertising holiday. It's the one where we buy a bunch of shit and give people gifts. Huge marketing. The Coca-Cola company owns this holiday. But there's a twist this year. It's dangerous out there. You better wear a mask. You better be protected. Wear gloves. Don't touch stuff. Stop touching your face. This is kind of a nothing video. I really wanted to put something up, but you know, I have had a lot of free time over the past couple weeks, and I've just been like editing videos and uploading videos, and you may be thinking like, I haven't seen any of those. And that's because they aren't on this channel. They're actually on the other channel. I have a second channel, never used it, and I've started using it recently for video game videos with dumb jokes and stuff that doesn't really flow very well on this channel. So there's some dumb videos there. It's funny. I think it's all funny. It's over here. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I started buying quite a lot of new vinyl since my last video, which was only, what, like 2 months ago. This is kind of like a vinyl update a little bit of some stuff that I've gotten since the last video. So just go in, just get in that. Let's just get in that. Honorable mention from last time, I actually forgot a record from my record store day thing from 2017. I only recently found it because my records on my shelf are not organized. I don't know where most of this stuff is, and sometimes I just find them. So, Vitamin String Quartet performs Kanye West. It's a good listen. The weird thing is that I'm not a huge Kanye West person, not because I don't like his music, it's just I haven't really taken the time to sit down and listen to a bunch of it. And so a lot of his songs I know because of this, and the arrangements for most of these songs are actually really good, considering like the source material is obviously rap and sort of R&B, and it's done really, really well. They're actually really great listens, even if you don't really care too much for Kanye West. It's a very well put together album. I expect no less. I expect no less from the Vitamin Strings. I had mentioned last time that I gotten into more punky music. I talked about Jeff Rosenstock, which was that album that I bought last time. One of the artists that I mentioned was Pup, and I've had kind of a hard time getting a hold of some of their music on vinyl, but once our distributor actually started carrying it, I did order some of their stuff, which is their new full album from last year, which was Morbid Stuff, has some pretty solid tracks on it. It's a good album. Pressed on flesh kind of colored vinyl. It's I think this is what you would just call neutral tone vinyl. It's pretty nice press. I have no complaints as far as the press quality goes. It sounds great. And the other of their releases that I got was actually their EP, This Place Sucks Ass. Really great listen, really awesome cover art. I want to hang it, but I do actually like listening to this, so I probably won't. This one is pressed on like a really cool splatter green, or it's a green with white splatter, I suppose. I am a sucker for good album art and a nice colored press. This is actually my first purchase through the record store that I work at. You kind of have to break the seal at some point, and my Breaking the Seal album was Thundercat. It is what it is, and I really dig the, I think this is called an Obi strip? Obi something. And I really dig like the iridescent coating they've gone at it, like a foil Pokemon card. It's really cool. This one is pressed on a nice solid red vinyl, and I know there's some complaints out there about the quality of the press and just the production of the album in general, and I feel like that's fair, but it is, you know, it's still a great album. There's a lot of talent in this album, so I think it kind of makes up for it. I have no real complaints as far as that goes, and a lot of really good artists worked on this album, so I just don't like complaining about things like that. Another mention from the last video about vinyl was talking about Mort Garson. I ended up coming across a link to like a new release of The Unexplained on vinyl. It was up for pre-order, and I was like, this is fucking weird that I just was talking about this and it came up. So now I have it, and it's on a really cool orange. It's not really a splatter, it's kind of a, I don't know what you would call that. Orange and green. It's very good, and it's worth a listen, even if you're not really into this sort of vintage electronic music or noise music or whatever you want to end up calling it. It's very cool, and there's some very good tracks on it, just like eerie, atmospheric super good, and some very frameable artwork on here. Last one was kind of a cluster here. An artist that I've been obsessed with for probably the past 2 years is Ben Folds. Something about the songwriting and a lot of his music and the instrumentation and just a lot of the talent behind it, it just absolutely grabs me, and I love his music. I don't normally experience like the sort of being a huge fan of a specific artist and like knowing all this stuff about them and all that. I've never really had that. This is the first artist that's kind of grabbed me in that way. And so I feel right buying a bunch of his vinyl, and I'm working on getting all of it. Not every like release, but every album on vinyl. You know, Songs for Silverman. This is actually probably one of the first Ben Folds albums I owned, and I bought it. I didn't listen to it, and a girl told me, oh my god, that's a great album. The song Gracie is on it. That's about his daughter. It's so cute. And I was like, maybe I should listen to Ben Folds. Changed my fucking life. People do that to me, and it's usually girls. Ben Folds' Songs for Silverman is one of my all-time favorite albums. As a collection of songs, it's great. The other one I got here, this is his most recent album, So There. Absolutely great album. I remember I had heard the name Ben Folds, looked him up because I knew some of his songs. All You Can Eat was like one I knew when I was growing up because my dad used to sing it to me. I looked him up right around when this album had come out, and I looked at that and I was like, that's interesting. And I thought it was weird that he had his own concerto. And that was when I was like a judgy high schooler, like fresh out of high school, and I just didn't care for it. But now I think it's sick. It's fucking cool. The title track So There is really good. I actually saw him live earlier this year in January, and he mentioned how he had the like main melody for that song in the back of his head for like the past 20 years. And there's like a documentary piece talking about Songs for Silverman where he's playing that, and that's the title track from the 2016 album. Blew my fucking mind.
A mattress and a stereo, just like I started.
And then going alongside that, this is a Record Store Day exclusive, but I was still able to order it new wholesale, which is Ben Folds with Y Music. This is the In Concert album that is tracks from So There. So it's a bunch of the new tracks, some old tracks, all performed live. It's a chamber ensemble. So it's clarinet, strings, trumpet. It's really good. It's awesome. There's the version of Steven's Last Night in Town on this has a killer clarinet solo towards the end. It's 8 minutes long, kicks ass, love it. And it's a little baby 10-inch. It's one of the only 10 inches I have here. Last one's not really, it's not a new album, and it's not something that I even got recently. This is actually something I've had for probably since I started buying albums like 5 or 6 years ago. This is from Goodwill originally. It is Play Bach. It's the Jacques Lusseau Trio. And this is lounge jazz renditions of Bach pieces. I didn't even know what I had, honestly, and I brought it over to a friend's probably 2 years ago, and we just threw it on because, you know, cover looks funny or whatever. One of the best albums I've ever heard. It's easily in my top 10 in my collection at the moment. It's a very high quality press, and the pieces that are in this collection are fucking awesome. If you ever run across a copy of Play Bach, it's really good. There's actually several different Play Bach albums. This is just a compilation of some of the better songs from like all the different performances, but all of them are good. It's absolutely worth picking up if you ever see one. So, last little tidbit here is not a record. It's not anything like that. I just wanted to mention I had COVID. That was what I got sick with. I'm actually on my last day of quarantine. I was a little bit congested, mostly nasally. I lost taste and smell probably a good 4 or 5 days ago. But it has been 2 weeks since I've been exposed. I should be good to go out, but I'm gonna get tested before I do. It's no joke though. I'm very, very fortunate to have a mild case, but I know there are a lot of people out there who are in much worse shape. I had one day where I had my mask off for a little bit, and that was the day I happened to get it. It's worth the caution, and even if you don't have an extreme case or anything, you don't wanna be the reason why somebody else is in the ER, you know? So just do your best. We're this far into it. we have less than the previous 8 months left, I'm sure. Happy corporate holiday, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Hopefully you enjoyed your gifts. Hopefully you enjoyed anything you got for yourself this year and anything that anybody else bought for you and all your mail. If you enjoyed hearing me ramble, you know, type a comment, let me know. I appreciate it. I do read every comment because I get like 2 or 3 a video. So I'm gonna edit this. It's like 1:32 a.m. and I'm just gonna quick whip this up so I can upload it tomorrow, which is Christmas. Because it is, well, I guess it's Christmas right now, but whatever.